Okay, so now we're moving on to the back area of the van, my favorite area of the van. And what could be nicer than dinner under the stars? We have a cooler here, really handy little cooler. We have running water, and we've got a propane gas stove. So starting with the cooler, this is a handy little device which will keep charging up when the car's running. Now obviously it stores energy as well. If the customer is going off that night and they're going to start their camping trip, we can even just turn it on for them, and we usually put it up about halfway. If the customer is staying on a campsite for 2 or 3 days at a time, the cooler can lose a bit of power and can start warming up. So sometimes we suggest that they chuck some ice in there if they're going to be stationary for a few days. But once they start up on their journey again, that cooler will chill right down. So moving on to the propane gas stove, and this is very easy to use, as is most of the stuff on the van, but it's important to explain, of course, to the customer exactly how it works. Now, we've got some wind sleeves at the sides, which just makes the cooking experience more smooth. And then we have this little piece of kit here. You simply screw in this part until it's nice and tight, and then the propane gas canister will screw onto this part, and you'll hear a little fizz as it closes. Once you've affixed this tightly and made sure this is nicely tightly on as well, you can turn this switch and you'll know that it's working because you'll hear the gas. As soon as the customer hears the gas, they need to strike a match and get that gas going. Very easy to use, very simple. It's also important that once they have finished cooking, they take this back off so there's no concerns about any leakage, and pop it back in there. Now, these canisters, they're not recyclable, so the customer needs to either dispose of it themselves or they can bring it back to the hub. These don't actually come as part of the package, so it's important that you let the customer know that if they want some, they're going to have to pay for them beforehand, and they are $5 each, and they can take as many as they like. So popping this back here again now, closing this area, and it's straight back in and you're ready again to travel. Moving on now to the tap, and this is something which the customer will need to pump a few times just to get it working. There's 5 gallons of water in there, and there is loads of water for their journey, but yeah, sometimes you just need to give it a good few pumps to get it going. Down here, a little hole where the tire release is, and when you in your breakdown kit, in that side bit by the passenger side, you will see the right tools in order to loosen the tyre. If you do have a flat tyre, the tyre is underneath there. Very simple to use. Another handy little feature at the back of the van is the solar power light. Really useful for cooking in the evenings if you're in a countryside location and there isn't too much light. That runs off the solar panel at the top of the van, and you can use that as much as you like. That will just naturally run out if you haven't got enough solar power. It is important to let the customer know though that these lights inside the cabin, they run off the battery on the car, so they can overuse those. If they're going to be stationary for 3 or 4 days, they need to be a little bit sparing with using the lights. Until they start driving the vehicle again, then they won't be charging the battery. And it's really important to remember the bit about the lights, because if the battery is drained because of the lights in the cabin, that will not be covered on the customer's insurance. As you can see, I've also got a kitchen kit here. That doesn't come as part of the general standard package. They can get this from the a la carte menu, so it's another important element to potentially sell to them. And we've got some chairs here as well in the side. They're another item on the a la carte menu, and we'll go through all of that menu pretty shortly. So now we've done the back section of the van, I'm going to take you around to the other side.